really angry about this. Really angry that it's not there's not more awareness about it.
Tonight, 11 News investigates looking into something known on the street as gas station heroin. That's just one of its names. It is legal in Maryland, available for anyone to buy, really, and there's a good chance it's sold in a smoke shop or gas station near you.
Yeah, and not hard to believe that it can be dangerous. Now, some are calling for this unregulated supplement to be banned nationwide. 11 News' Mindy Becerra joins us. You have one family story, and it's a heck of a story for
It is a heck of a story, and it is so easy to get. We bought this less than a mile from here. Tianeptine is the substance we're talking about. It's sold as a supplement to help with anxiety and depression, but as one local family found out, it can be very addictive and very dangerous. It goes by many names: Tiana, Pegasus, Zaza, even gas station heroin. It's easy to buy and in high doses can be dangerous.
I mean, he was just crazy and in and out and scary.
This father does not want to reveal his identity. Tom, we'll call him, says his adult son ended up in the hospital.
Almost like psychotic how he was acting.
Tom figured his son, who has had substance abuse issues in the past, had taken something but had no idea what. So Tom checked his car.
His car, the bottles came up to the seats. I mean, there was probably 100 or more, empty.
The bottle said Zaza Red. Tom had never heard of it. Neither had the hospital staff.
The chemical name for it, or generic name, is tianeptine. It is an antidepressant that has been used for, I want to say, about 30 years in countries that do not include the United States.
Jimmy Leonard is the director of clinical services at the Maryland Poison Center. He says tianeptine is not approved for medical use here in America, but is sold in smoke shops and gas stations as an unregulated supplement.
In the last few years, it was noted that it gave people a euphoric effect similar to opioids. And what they found is it actually functions a lot like an opioid at high doses.
And is technically legal.
Well, that's not illegal.
Not in Maryland, anyway. Tianeptine is easy to find under a variety of brand names. Tom's son says he bought it at a gas station. We found various kinds at smoke shops in our area. And there are plenty of websites to purchase tianeptine online. A bottle of 15 capsules costs between $30 and $45.
Because they've been buying it, and then they ran out of money or decided, I want to stop using this substance, and then they show up to the hospital in opioid withdrawal. You know, they really have a lot of issues with diarrhea, nausea, vomiting. They're really sweaty and just frankly uncomfortable.
Poison Center may help you.
Leonard says the number of tianeptine-related calls to the Maryland Poison Center is not high, but it is growing. In 2016, there was just one call. By 2023, 12. Nationally, in 2018, there were 88 calls to poison centers. By September of 2022, there were 286, and several people have died. So now 9 states have banned tianeptine: Florida, Alabama, Georgia, Indiana, Michigan, Mississippi, Ohio, Tennessee, and Kentucky. We contacted the state attorney general's office to see where Maryland stands, and they declined an interview. Jimmy Leonard says tianeptine is likely not even on state leaders' radar. They have their hands full with another drug.
We have so many fentanyl deaths, right, every single month that it's just, it's overwhelming.
Meanwhile, Tom's son is off of tianeptine and doing well, but it wasn't easy.
He later told me that it was harder to get off this than it was of opioids.
He wants everyone to know about tianeptine, what it can do, and how easy it is to get.
Yeah, really angry about this. Really angry that it's not. There's not more awareness about it. You know, it could have killed him. You know.
We called the company listed on the label as the distributor for Zaza products to see if they would like to comment on our story. We did not hear back. Meanwhile, the FDA has issued a warning about tianeptine, but Congress wants more. 5 representatives sent a letter to the FDA urging the agency to take immediate action on tianeptine. And now 2 representatives from California and Texas have introduced a bill making tianeptine a controlled substance and therefore making it illegal to sell without a prescription. We'll keep you posted. Mindy Becerra, WBAL TV 11 News.